Lagiacrus is one of the most sought after monsters in Monster Hunter Wilds currently. Tempered Lagiacrus is one of the only quests in the game that can reward you with up to 10 talisman per hunt, making it insanely efficient for farming. These talisman are essential for upgrading your sets and unlocking entirely new builds and playstyles. But that's not all. Hunting Lagiacrus also gives you material to craft some of the strongest armor pieces in the game, staples in countless meta builds. And as a cherry on top, it even drops parts for one of the best craftable weapons available right now. That being said, Lagiacrus isn't free loot. It's a dangerous monster that hits hard and has some of the highest defense stats out of all tempered monsters, which means to take it down, we need to be safe and we need heavy firepower. And what better weapon than the Insurrection Cannon, the best heavy bowgun in Monster Hunter Wilds. With its insanely high raw damage, spread ammo for close-up engagement, and slicing ammo to bait traps, as well as deal high levels of damage at a range, this weapon is the perfect counter. But before we dive in, let's take a look at the table of contents for today's video. Alright, if you just want to skip ahead and check out the equipment setup and decorations, head to the timestamp down below. However, I highly recommend watching the speed farm tutorial first. In this section, I'll show you exactly how to use the Insurrection Cannon to efficiently hunt Lagiacrus and secure talisman in the shortest amount of time. On top of that, if you want to understand where the damage comes from, stick around afterwards to hear out the build analysis. That's where I break down the strength of the build and explain the finer details, the intricacies of how everything comes together to make the setup so powerful. Alright, so let's lay down some groundwork. This weapon really shines in multiplayer hunts. Anytime your teammate has aggro on Lagiacrus, that's a free window to unload consistent spread ammo damage. When Lagiacrus shifts its focus onto you, you've got two main options. The first is that you block and reposition. Use your heavy bowgun's block to stop its attack, then reposition with your sacred. The second is to dodge and counter. This build runs evade window and adrenaline rush, so you can slip past the attack and then either counter attack or again get on the sacred and reposition. Every time Lagiacrus comes after you, the priority is to reposition onto your mount unless you see a damage window opening. And the reason why we're doing this is just because Lagiacrus is such a fast monster that when it breaks that gap between you and him, you don't know what he's going to do afterwards. So just to stay safe. So when you first enter into the hunt, immediately put on your ghillie mantle so Lagiacrus won't target you right away. While it's distracted by your teammates, set up pitfall traps and shock traps in the battle area. Then switch to your slicing ammo. This provides safe, consistent damage from range while baiting Lagiacrus into your traps. You can also use Wyvern Piercer at this distance as well, since it's so long range. Continue until your slicing ammo runs out or until both traps are triggered. So once it's caught, use your swap to your spread ammo to aim directly for its head. That's its weak spot, and it activates weakness exploit for even bigger damage numbers. Once you transition fully into spread ammo, your job is simple: push damage. Move toward Lagiacrus' head for maximum damage output, but still shimmy across his body by basically shooting his body while you're moving towards the head. What makes this weapon such a good matchup against Lagiacrus is that range is really perfect. In this clip below, you can see me just dealing consistent damage to the head, and I'm in such a nice spot because I'm close enough to basically be able to hit Lagiacrus. Because of evade reloading, I can reposition and stay in range of his head, and on top of that, I'm far enough to where some of his attacks that are really good for getting you off of his head don't affect me. So whenever you move on to spread ammo, make sure you put on your evasion mantle. And here's a key tip: do not sheath your weapon when you're dodging. The heavy bowgun's equipped roll has a longer animation, giving you more iframes. Also, whenever you do switch to your spread ammo and you put on your evasion mantle, make sure you switch to your flash pods and use all three of them. Blinding Lagiacrus during this moment can help you just deal damage and just get those flash pods out of the way. Once you empty out your flash pods, switch to your lure pods, because whenever Lagiacrus leaves the area, you can basically keep him in the fight like you're seeing below. Alright, let's start the build analysis. For this build, we are running critical boost at level 5, and this is where the skill really shines. By default, critical hits in Monster Hunter Wilds deals 25% extra damage. That's a 1.25x multiplier. With critical boost maxed out, At level 5, the number jumps all the way to 40% extra damage, a 1.40x multiplier. That's a huge bump in raw output every time you land a crit. And this is especially important for the Insurrection Cannon because we are constantly aiming for Lagiacrus' head with spread ammo, triggering Weakness Exploit for massive affinity. That high crit rate from Weakness Exploit combined with boosted critical damage from Critical Boost means almost every shot we are firing is hitting harder than normal. In practice, this turns your heavy bowgun into a crit machine. Every well-placed spread volley becomes a burst of high-value damage, melting Lagiacrus even through his high defense. So when you see the red line damage numbers popping up on the screen, that's Critical Boost 5 working behind the scenes, giving you the firepower you need to speed farm tempered Lagiacrus. Alright, next is spread/power shots, which is given to us from our charm. This gives us a straight 5% damage boost to our spread ammo, or bow power shots and quick shots. For our setup, the only thing that matters is spread ammo, since it's basically like the Insurrection Cannon's bread and butter. Now, 5% might not sound like a lot on paper, but remember, spread ammo hits in multiple pellets per shot. Each pellet gets that 5% boost. Over a course of a full volley, that stacks into huge bumps of power. This is why spread/power shots is one of the most powerful additions we can make into the Insurrection Cannon, and it's one of the examples of how getting Talisman can push your builds past their it can make them even more powerful than they already were. This is only possible because of the Title Update 2.5 update providing new Talisman. Now another skill for this build is evading reload, and it completely changes how the Insurrection Cannon plays. At level 1, the effect is simple. Every time you evade, you automatically reload one bullet of your currently selected ammo type. This works very well for any kind of dodge. Rolls, sidesteps, even the follow-up evade after a sidestep. The only exceptions are things like sidestep reload, which reloads your entire magazine instead, or special moves like burst step on light bowgun. For us, running heavy bowgun, especially this Insurrection Cannon build, it really changes everything because we're always repositioning, always trying to get to Lagiacrus' head, so this flows really well with the build. Now, you combine this with blade skill loading, and every well-timed dodge isn't just survival, it's part of your DPS rotation. You're evading attacks, instantly reloading, and basically staying in Lagiacrus' face to keep up the pressure. Next is Evade Extender level 2. This skill increases the distance of your dodges, and we're running level 2 for a balanced mix of safety and mobility. With heavy bowgun's natural slower movement, this skill is a lifesaver. So defensively, it lets you dodge Lagiacrus' attacks from a long range. So even if you mistime your roll slightly, the extra distance gives you a better margin of survival, right? But here's the catch. It's not just defense. It can also be used offensively. Evade Extender doubles as a gap closer. Anytime Lagiacrus shifts positions or your team sets up an opening, you can quickly dodge roll forward to get back into range. Line up your spread ammo and keep the pressure going. To supplement our affinity, we're also running Maximum Might on this build as well, giving us a full 30% affinity boost whenever our stamina bar is full. The best part is that when it comes to heavy bowgun, maintaining Maximum Might is almost effortless. Unlike melee weapons that are constantly burning stamina from dodges and combos, bowguns only use stamina for occasional rolls or mount reposition. That means you're getting near 100% uptime on that 30% critical chance. In this context of this build, Maximum Might is a powerhouse skill. Combined with Weakness Exploit 5, you're critting almost every shot aimed at Lagiacrus' head. And those crits land with Critical Boost 5 as well, multiplying the damage. Now, you may be wondering that, this build still requires evade rolling, right? So our Maximum Might isn't going to be active. That would be true if we didn't run 2 Anjanath pieces that gives us an ability called Second Wind. So running 2 pieces of Fulgur Anjanath provides us with Second Wind, which grants us an extra stamina bar of 25 points that sits on top of your normal stamina bar. Here's the key advantage. Whenever you roll, dodge, or perform any action that uses stamina, it first drains from the bonus bar instead of your main one. That gives you extra room for evasions, repositioning, and more, which is huge for a heavy bowgun build. And this synergizes perfectly with Maximum Might. The game only checks for the original stamina bar, mind you. So even if you roll, Maximite will still be active. Since second wind drains first, your original bar stays safe and longer. This means you maintain that 30% affinity boost far more consistently. And there you go, guys. That's the build, honestly, or at least the most like major components of it. So here are the active skills, equipment, decorations, bowgun modifications, and talisman for this build. If you guys have any questions on this build and how to use it, let me know. If you're having any problems with the hunt, let me know and I'll help you out. If you like Borderlands 4, we're going to be covering that game once it comes out. If you play Path of Exile, we're going to have a few builds here and there to help you out. All right, y'all take care. If you have any requests for any weapons or builds, just let me know. I hope you have fun. Take care.